Welcome to our Getting Started series for Devolutions Hub Business. This video series provides best practices for setting up a Devolutions Hub as an administrator for your organization and team. We'll cover creating your hub and setting up shared vaults, inviting users and assigning permissions, adding entries and integrating external applications, and accessing reports, resources, and getting help. Let's jump right in. For this walkthrough, our user Maurice just bought the starter pack from Devolutions for his small team at Windjammer Biz. He's received his license in his welcome email for the starter pack and now is going to create a brand new hub. He can do so directly from the Devolutions portal, his command center for all things Devolutions related. Now, after creating the hub, a few minutes later, he'll receive a welcome email with a link to access his newly deployed instance. On his first login, Maurice is prompted to download his emergency kit. You'll want to store this in a safe place. If you ever reset your account password or lose access to it, this is how you regain access to your vault. Now that we're in, we can enter in our license information, whether it's the starter pack like Maurice has or another type of license. In this case, activating our package will provide access to other tools like Remote Desktop Manager and the PAM functionality. Now we'll assign him a license. While we're here, you'll notice that we can check a box to automatically assign a license when onboarding new users. This is really handy. And also, we have the option to auto-assign licenses to specific user groups. But for now, let's head to the Assign section and provide Maurice with the first starter pack license. Now Maurice is going to invite one of his senior IT coworkers, Bob, as an administrator to join the hub. While not always required, having a second admin can be helpful during the initial setup. It adds a bit of redundancy in case the owner loses access and makes it easier to share the workload early on. Later, permissions can easily be adjusted or reduced as needed. Let me pause for a moment to explain how invitations work in Hub, which all depend on how you want users to authenticate. The first method is using a Devolutions account. If the person you're inviting doesn't already have one, they'll receive a welcome email with a temporary password to create one. If they do already have a Devolutions account, they'll receive an email with a link to join the hub directly. We also have single sign-on with Microsoft or Okta, which requires a little more configuration beforehand, but gives you a great integration with your current identity providers and also allows for account provisioning. And finally, we have the Hub encryption service. This is a self-hosted option that delivers encryption keys to users, allowing them to access your hub with their key. All three are great methods, and if you'd like more details on setting them up, check out the documentation under the Resources tab at devolutions.net. Our environment here is pretty simple, so we're going to use the Devolutions account method. Just realize that if you're using SSO or the encryption service, inviting users will differ slightly. Back to the invitation screen. In this case, we see that Bob already has a Devolutions account. So, continuing on, we can select whether Bob can use Devolutions Hub in offline mode for apps like Workspace and Remote Desktop Manager, but we'll touch on that point a bit later in the series. So for now, let's just finish inviting him so we can move on to the next step. Now that we've got two administrators, it's time to create user groups. User groups can streamline onboarding greatly. When new users are added, they can automatically be assigned to the right group, provided with licenses, and even given preset permissions right from the start. For Windjammer Biz, we've opted to create only two groups, one for all employees and other for technicians who need access to remote endpoints. Now, I'll also mention that since Maurice and Bob are admins, technically they don't need to be added to any groups since they will always have access to all areas of the system. When it comes to naming groups, we recommend that you define them based on department, location, or job role, whatever best fits your organization. Next, let's move on to creating vaults, the containers where you store all your hub contents. Now, when you create a hub, you get two by default. The default vault, a shared space for your team that you can rename and repurpose if you'd like, and a user vault, a private vault for each team member's personal work-related items like passwords, website logins, and alarm codes. If you wish, user vaults can be disabled when inviting non-admin users to your hub. We're going to rename our default vault to Windjammer Vault. Now let's look at the vault visibility options. A public vault means users can see that the shared vault exists, even if they don't have access to its contents. They can request access directly from the Vault menu, and an admin will need to approve or deny that request. A private vault, on the other hand, is completely hidden unless a user has been explicitly granted access or invited to it. They won't even be able to request access from the vault menu. We also have the vault content type, which restricts the type of entries a vault may contain. Under the Security tab, we can customize the various vault permissions for individual users and groups based off of the predefined roles. Clicking the eye icon will reveal what permissions are in that role. And to see the entire chart of permissions, check out the View Role Definitions button. Hub also lets you override with custom permissions for a more granular approach. So for this vault, I want my employees and technicians groups to have the operator's role, meaning that they can connect or execute entries and also view passwords, but they can't edit or delete entries themselves. Now that we've edited the default vault, we're going to create some more vaults to store our entries for our various departments. You can see here that you can add different types of vaults depending on the contents you wish to store. For the sake of time, I'm going to speed up this portion of the video where I'll create several vaults and assign them the appropriate user group permissions. At the end, all of my user groups and vaults will be set and ready to go. Okay, we've just created a brand new hub for our team, invited a second admin, and even set up user groups and vaults. In the next video, we'll walk through how to invite additional users to our hub and assign them the right permissions so that they can start using Hub for themselves. If you have any questions along the way, you can always reach out to our support team and our documentation under the Resources tab at devolutions.net.